Derby County midfielder Liam Thompson has reportedly picked up an injury over the course of the last 7 days, and that is some devastating news for Derby County. Now, this rumour has not yet been confirmed, but it is yet again a leak from Derby County where a player has been injured. Now, it's obviously disappointing for me as a Derby County fan to find out this sort of information from social media, and ultimately I don't believe we've had confirmation of it yet from John Eustace or any of the Derby County coaching team, which again isn't surprising, but ultimately it is a little bit disappointing. Now, is Liam Thompson fit? Is he not? Well, we're going to wait and see. We're going to have to. Now, realistically, he's not necessarily needed in the 20-man squad at the moment, with obviously the likes of David Ozo being fully fit. You look at Lewis Travis and Ibu Adams being fit and firing as well, and he's not necessarily needed, especially when we've got 12 million attackers on the bench now. But ultimately, it's disappointing to see him pick up an injury. Now, we're going to discuss it in this video, and the reported, well, rumoured injury that he has picked up. We're going to discuss that in this video, but if you have not done so already, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and turn on that notification bell. Check out the likes of Kitbag, Loaded, and NordVPN down in the description. Make sure you join the Discord as well, but let's get into it. Head on over to raffle.com, linked down in the description, so that you can get yourselves into the raffle to win 2 Derby County home tickets or a 2025-26 DCFC kit of your choice. Tickets start at just £1 per ticket, with a range of different bundles available to you, where you can buy 2 tickets, get 2 free, 5 tickets, get 5 free, 10 tickets to get 10 free, and 15 tickets for 15 free. All you need to do is head on over to Derby County's website, get yourself a fan ID. So if you are the winner of this raffle, I can send you over those tickets, and all you have to do is enter a question just a little bit about Jamie Carragher and what club he played at for his entire career. So if you haven't done so already, head on over to raffle.com, linked in the description, so that you can join the raffle for 2 Derby County home tickets or a 2025-26 DCFC kit of your choice. Now, Liam Thompson has had a bit of a tough time with injuries over the course of recent years. Picked up a huge one in the season where Derby County went on to get promoted, which kept him out for 3 or 4 months after starting the season in the best form that he'd had since that spell under Wayne Rooney. Then last year he picked up an injury at a difficult time early on as well, which kept him out of the picture again. And then obviously this season it appears, well, it is rumoured that he's picked up an injury which is going to keep him out until around December time. Now, obviously, as I'm making this video, there has been no confirmation from the club or from John Eustace as of right now, but that doesn't mean that this injury isn't true. Now, we are going to discuss it in this video because I think it's an absolute massive situation with Derby County, where you have these leaks coming out the club, which I think is terrible for business at Derby County, because John Eustace wants to do things, and ultimately, what can he really do about it? Now, I get the impression that Derby County are going to try and weed out these links over the course of the next few months, but ultimately, to do that, they've got to let things leak, and they've got to wait and see sort of who the leak is, and it is going to be interesting to see how that develops. But the injury to Liam Thompson, I think the rumour suggested that it was a groin injury that he picked up in a behind closed doors game in which Patrick Agyemang played 60 minutes as well. So it's one of those for me where ultimately, these behind closed doors games are really good for building fitness, but they're also a huge risk for those players that are within the first team picture already, because obviously you have that situation of where they can go and pick up their own injuries and things like that. And that's obviously, it's hard. It's hard to sort of discuss, because you don't want players to pick up those injuries, because how are you meant to then deal with it? Do you know what I mean? And you've got players then who would probably be within the first team picture, but then aren't playing because they've picked up an injury in a behind closed doors game for the B team or the 21s or something. And for me, I'm not necessarily a fan of all these behind closed doors games, but that is just one of the situations that Derby County have to deal with the injury circumstance that they have found themselves in over recent years. You look at someone like Curtis Nelson, who's going to go through the B team 21 position to get himself back to full fitness. Players like Sondre Langas and Owen Beck will probably play in behind closed doors games as well. And what worries me about that is if they pick up knocks along the way, because Owen Beck for me is going to be our starting left back once he's back fit. Obviously, Sondre Langas as well, he's going to be our starting centre half once he's back fit. And I think for me, there's obviously a massive danger in these behind closed doors games, in these friendly matches that we're playing behind the scenes. Obviously, we played one against Man City a couple of weeks ago in which Patrick Adjumang scored. Selverson played half an hour in that as well. And obviously a range of different academy players got themselves the opportunity to play with the first team as well. But for me, you really want to try and keep your players fit, and I don't think we should be risking a player like Liam Thompson in those games, especially when, in my opinion, we're very light in that sort of central midfield area. I think when you look at it, you've got Ebo Adams, Lewis Travis, David Ozo and Liam Thompson. We don't have anybody else that is really a deeper lying midfielder for me, and I think that's one of the downsides of letting go a player like Jake Rooney, letting go of a player of Kenzo Heldmine, because don't get me wrong, I understand the registration rules and things like that, but I think that Derby County have probably one too many defenders and not enough central midfielders. Now, obviously, that's something which John Eustace will probably be looking to solve as we head in towards the January transfer window. But obviously, we've only just ended the summer window, and we're, 20 days away from that ending, and there's still a lot of conversations about this squad. I do think the squad is good enough. I do think the squad has the ability to challenge towards the top half of this division. But ultimately, to be able to do that, you've got to keep your players fit, and you've got to keep them fit. You've got to keep them firing. You've got to have them given that opportunity to be able to push on level. And I just don't think that having players like Liam Thompson playing in these B team games is very smart. Now, obviously, everyone will have their own opinion on it. Obviously, the club believe it's the right thing to do. Do I necessarily agree? Probably not, but it's one of those circumstances which the club are doing what they believe is right. The players doing what they're paid to do, essentially. But I just think that Derby County need to be a little bit smarter and a little bit more sensible with their players. I think when you look at the likes of Liam Thompson, if Ebo Adams nearly got sent off at the weekend. If he'd have got sent off, who's going to go on the bench in that central midfield position if he isn't fit? Obviously, it is just rumoured at the moment, but it's disappointing. It's disappointing that there's another leak. It's disappointing that there's potentially another injury on the cards as well. But obviously, you can let me know your thoughts on that down in the comments. If you have not done so already, make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and turn on that notification bell. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye-bye, guys. Head on over to raffle.com, linked down in the description, so that you can get yourselves into the raffle to win 2 Derby County home tickets or a 2025-26 DCFC kit of your choice. Tickets start at just £1 per ticket, with a range of different bundles available to you, where you can buy 2 tickets, get 2 free, 5 tickets, get 5 free, 10 tickets to get 10 free, and 15 tickets for 15 free. All you need to do is head on over to Derby County's website, get yourself a fan ID. So if you are the winner of this raffle, I can send you over those tickets, and all you have to do is enter a question just a little bit about Jamie Carragher and what club he played at for his entire career. So if you haven't done so already, head on over to raffle.com, linked in the description, so that you can join the raffle for 2 Derby County home tickets or a 2025-26 DCFC kit of your choice.